Happy Valentine's Day. This is Scott Nadi Gray. And if your life is perfect and you wouldn't change a thing, you're fulfilled and happy, then this video is probably not for you. Because I'm like you. I have a life so beautiful, I can't even comprehend how I got here. But if your life is painful and you're suffering and you can't seem to break through, then maybe this video is for you. I want to talk about a journey in mind, because the first thing is I want you to know you're not alone. And I hope something in the story of my life has a resonance with you. Something in it will make you go, he understands. He's been there. And yet, he's happy and his life has purpose. I grew up in a home where there was abuse and dysfunction. My father was not what he said he was. And my mother was suffering from great depression. In my early years, before my age 13, that led to me being a perfectionist, trying to find a way to hear I was okay. And then at age 13, it basically dawned on me that all of my life ahead, I was on my own. It was a great fear. It wasn't healthy for a 13-year-old boy to feel that alone. Like, basically like I was an orphan. I was an emotional orphan, I guess, but I didn't do too good on my own. By age 20, I was so broken by drug and alcohol addiction that I was close to the end. I'd lived in crime and some very, very difficult circumstances. And then that led to my first part of, I guess, a spiritual journey. I learned to rely on people and something bigger than myself and live a life of honesty and make amends when I had harmed someone. But I only swapped addictions because after that I became addicted by living within these lines that define that we're okay, that tell us what we have to say at the party. I started climbing this ladder that led nowhere except to other ladders. And I totally forgot who I was. Totally. If you met me at a party, the only thing you'd get from me is conversation about my job or my kids, because that was my entire life. I wasn't in it. It's funny. But 10 years ago or so, I began losing things. I lost an 18-year marriage. and the big house in the right neighborhood. And I returned to nature instead of just refilling the vacuum. I didn't go buy a new house. I didn't remarry. I spent a lot of time in nature, and I spent a lot of time in solitude, and I rediscovered the little boy that used to run around in the hills alone in the forests of Tennessee, who was safe with himself in the woods. I rediscovered the poetry that I wrote 20 years before inside me, and it became a part of my daily life. And 6 years ago, I had an awakening event, or I don't know what you call them, but different people call them different things. But on February 1st, 2008, I had a major life-changing event, a series of phenomenal events that occurred that day. And from that day, I've been unable to be anything other than what I am. Good or bad, like me or not. But it's so beautiful, because when you are what you were created to be, when you no longer need possessions or titles or activities to define that you count, that you just count because you were born to be who you are. And being who you are is exactly what you need to be happy, to be fulfilled. And it's so amazing how many people say to me every day, literally every day, how can you be so courageous as to be yourself? Whether it's corporate life, where people just are giving up, or people who are so empty and discouraged. And I remember when I started the journey, my good friends, the ones that love me most, they warned me, you can't say that. You can't post that. You can't do that. Your enemies will use it against you. People will think you're crazy. People will say you're a crackpot. Well, guess what? If that's what I am, so be it. It doesn't matter. Because I'm me. And I'm beautiful. In my professional life, I'm a senior technology strategist in an amazing international company. I travel the world and work on wonderful projects with great people. But I'm also a poet and a naturalist. I'll love you the minute I meet you, and I'll tell you anything, because I have nothing to lose. I can't be harmed by being who I am, because who I am is beautiful. It was what I was designed to be to fulfill my life purpose. Recently, a person came back into my life. This person has created more pain in my life than anybody else. And a friend of mine asked me, why would you possibly Why would you possibly risk helping them, getting them help, working with them? And I, without thinking, without processing, I just said, because I believe. And I do so believe. I believe if you're suffering, if you're the parents who lost a son or daughter and you just can't break through the grief, if you're the woman who keeps giving her body to men who don't care about her just so she can hear she's okay, if you're the person who, no matter what, you can't stop doing something you don't want to do and hurting people around you, I don't care if it's drinking or sex or lies, whatever. I know that you can be free. I believe. How could I not believe? And because I believe, I want you to know that if you're in that situation, leave me your email address as a comment. And I'll write to you. I don't know when because I'm a busy life, but I will write to you. And you can tell me what you're struggling with, and I'll try to find someone who can help. I don't care if it's addiction or if it's lack of fulfillment by following this crazy world standards of what is important, by making heroes out of sports stars and Forbes list of the most, wealthiest people on earth. How ridiculous that is. That's what we've made our heroes. Doesn't matter if you're a fake. It doesn't matter if you're cheating on your wife. It doesn't matter if you're miserable. You're our hero. No, let's make our heroes the people who stay up at night to stay on the phone with somebody and help them through the night. Let's make our heroes people that actually give more than they can afford to give to help somebody in their community. Let's make our heroes the people who take the risk of disclosing who they are so they can help someone identify and understand they're not alone. I love you, and I believe in you. If you need my help, leave me your name. And I'll try. I'd like to dedicate this video to Danny Marchesi, my first spiritual guide. The man who sacrificed literally thousands of hours of his time to help me grow. Danny, wherever you are, I can tell you, my friend, you are still here, and you are still giving every day through me. I love you. Blessings.